Jay Gurudev. Sarvastangatopiva Yasmaret Pundarikaksham Savayabhyantarashuchi Ahavahanam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vashishtam Shaktim Chatatputra Parasharam Cha Vyasam Shukam Godapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Shishyam Shri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam Chasta Madakam Shashishyam Tantrotakam Vartikakaramanyam Asmad Gurun Santatamanatosmi Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krito Vande Bhagavanto Puna Puna Yadvare Nikilani Limpa Parishad Siddhim Vidatte Nisham Shrimat Shri Lasitam Jagadguru Padam Natvatma Triptingata Loka Jnana Payoda Patanduram Shri Shankaram Sharmadam Brahmananda Sarasvatim Guruvaram Dhyayami Jyotirmayam Avanam Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Yo Namah Asanam Samarpayami Shri Guru Kamalebhyo Namah Snanam Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Vastram Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Chandanam Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Ratan Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Pushpam Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Dupam Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Deepam Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Atmanyam Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Naivedyam Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Atmanyam Nami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Tambulam Samarpayami Shri Kamalebhyo Namah Shri Palam Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Arartikyam Puragoram Karunavataram Samsarasaram Bhujagendraharam सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं नवानि सहितं नमामि हृतिक्यं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः आचमनीयं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः पुष्पाञ्जलिं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर् गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः श्रीब्रह्मानन्दं परं सुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं विश्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदि साक्षीभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणसहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः पुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि श्रीगुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः
Jai Gurudev Maharajaji. We hope that you had a very blissful, deep, profound silence these last 3 days. And we're so happy you've come to join us again and for this beautiful assembly that you inspired here in Bharat, the land of the Veda. And so I think over these 3 days of silence, most everyone is getting more and more settled into the environment and the daily routine. We have had beautiful programs together each day in these magnificent halls, and I have to say how inspiring it is to see how dedicated and focused everyone is on the purpose of why we are here and doing their programs all together. So Maharaja, I just wanted to commend everyone for their flexibility and patience and perseverance. These past few days we've also been listening to some truly historic talks by Maharshi on the mechanics of the Transcendental Meditation City program and yogic flying, as well as a beautiful review by Maharshi of the life of Gurudev and how the movement got started. So on the whole, things have been improving each day. But maybe rather than take my word, let's ask everyone how they are doing. How is everyone doing? We do want to thank and congratulate all these students who have been joining us for program every day. They've come in a very orderly and quiet manner, and they come and they add to the whole group coherence. So these are just some of the things that have been going on in the past few days, and as I said, I think on the whole everyone is feeling more settled and going deeper into program. So Maharaja, this is the report from your 10,000 for World Peace Assembly. And perhaps Raja Luis would like to say a few words and make any announcements that he would like. Jai Gurudev.
Maharajaji, while the silence was going on, good trends and things were happening here and in the world that could appreciate that something is happening. One very important businessman was visiting here yesterday, and after seeing everyone said, "We love what you're doing here. I'm building you a place for all of you to be permanently doing that in India." Okay. We have seen in the last 2-3 days various peace or improved tendencies to peace or withdrawals of thousands of troops in the Middle East or in Sudan or in some other areas where there is conflicts, and we already start to pop up some nice positive news happening in the direction of more peace. In the field, around the world, our meditators and siddhas are saying that what is happening with their meditation is deeper, something special is happening, so the infinite correlation from here is spreading all over the world. And these next days, very special visitors, spiritual leaders, and others that they want to help to create permanent groups will be visiting, and it's a joy that in the next days we'll have the blessings and the join of great leaders to make this our initiative permanent. So when Maharaja comes from silence, the impulse to activity is for permanent peace through permanent Maharishi effect in the world. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. It has been a tradition of ours to have this silence for 7 days usually. In the last few years, Maharishi gave the direction to have 3 days and 7 days more for those who would like to continue. On this assembly, it was felt that we have to be there to take care of some details, and because of the importance of this great assembly, we have taken 3 days of silence, particularly that the enlivenment of silence, the value of silence, will actually be maintained in a powerful way through all of you practicing this program together. It has also been a tradition usually that when we come out of silence, one of the first things we hear is about the news, what is happening in the world. And I was really delighted that on this assembly, our dear Minister of Administration, Neelji, started by saying what is happening in our family, in our assembly. Because this was what was most on my mind. During the silence, your comfort, your well-being, and whether everything is taken care of was constantly coming back to me. And I was delighted to hear from Neelji that things are okay, they are well. So thank you for your patience. And this is the most important news for the world today. That is your well-being, your ability to meditate and to transcend and to fly together and enliven the field that will make a difference in the world. The year that has ended wasn't on a hugely optimistic tone. When we looked at the news, there was a lot of warmongering, and news were not looking that the year is going to be starting on a great footing, or will be on a great footing. And that is really the fear and the assessment in the whole world today. The situation could be very dire, so we are not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about the solution. And we are the solution. The knowledge that Maharishi has given us from the Vedic tradition has been throughout the ages, and when you look at the Vedic history, you see that these great assemblies of sadhus and rishis and great seers that transcend together have been welcomed, have been invited, have been assembled by the different authorities, the rajas, the maharajas, the rishis, and at different times have created that effect, even in the Ramayana, in different times. And 80 years ago, at the World War situation, Sri Gurudev made a big yajna and assembled a large group. 40 years ago, at the height of the Cold War, Maharishi has assembled a great group that gradually later, with the expansion of the cities, reduced the tension and changed the trend of time. Today, the world requires a permanent group like our group. We can consider as if the true fullness of the course is taking its full value starting from these days. And so we have a huge potential, a huge possibility. More students are joining, more flyers are coming. But we have to be really very, very one-pointed on the program. And therefore, it is important to have the simplest form of awareness. and to go to the field that will make the effects very powerful. And the effects are being felt. The world was in a situation that it could go under very, very difficult future or near-time future. Things were not looking good at all. So even stabilizing the world and some level of positivity is a great thing. You know, I heard about this. I'm very sorry to hear that this Japan Airlines got into the accident. Ideally, we could have prevented the accident if we were more all together and doing the program. But when I knew that every passenger on that flight was able to be saved, and none of them really got injured except minor things. This is truly your doing. This is your doing. Accidents happen, things can happen, but the ability to do such a thing is tremendous. Even a 7.5 earthquake in a very dense populated area usually leads to thousands and thousands of casualties. In this case, very minimal. It is unfortunate that there were some, of course, but it was minimal. They predicted like 15 feet waves of the tsunami. It came only 4 feet and didn't do anything. And these are indications. In the Middle East, these young people are sent back home. There is a withdrawal. It was absolutely unexpected. Because at the end of the year, the warmongering, the discussion and talks were so acute. And so I thought, how are we going to deal with that? They're not preparing us for something easy. And suddenly you hear withdrawal of troops. No matter what they say, they may say, okay, they're coming to rest in order to fight again even more. But in their mind, suddenly the rest is needed, suddenly the withdrawal is needed, suddenly going back to their families is needed, and they say they're sending the reservists back so they go back to their work and all of that. And then you hear the biggest aircraft carrier in the world, the Ford, they call it, Gerald Ford ship, whatever its actual name, loaded with arms and planes, which was right at the shores of the Middle East, decided we don't need it, let's take it home to the United States. So it might not be easy to see this because the talks and the rhetoric and all of that is boiling. It's very much boiling. But in spite of that, there is something happening. And that happening is your doing. And that is real. Is it satisfactory? Have we achieved the full purpose? No, of course not. We want heaven on earth. And that will happen. That will happen as our group gets stronger even now, and that's a challenge to us. And that's why we want to focus on program. And as you notice, usually when we come and talk and want to discuss topics, we speak about knowledge, about inspiration, about understanding, Veda, Vedanta, a human body is cosmic, physiology is in us, and the whole Veda is in us. We talk about freedom, we talk about karma and dharma, and we talk about all of this. And there is a lot we can talk about, and we have Maharishi from time to time to inspire us about these through the tapes. But as you notice, we keep coming back to just making sure the program is simple, the program is easy, the program is being done well, and we all are doing it. We all are doing it. Every one person adds a lot. If you want to make the calculations, you can see that if you add 10 people to the 10,000 and do a square of that and multiply by 100 so that the 1%, you see how many people you are influencing, how many one person that adds their presence is influencing. It's an easy calculation. You can do it. So when you see you're influencing thousands of people, then you realize the importance of every one of us doing the program. So we have to make sure this happens, and we have to also make sure we are a large number, because we have promised the world to do it, and if we're not doing it, then the scientists, if they don't find any results, they'll wonder whether the program works. And for it to work, it has to be done. It cannot be just, oh, we came and we're having good vacation, or we're worried about so many other aspects at this time, and therefore what to do, we'll do it later. That will not be enough to produce the effect. So we do it in the most blissful, easy, caring, loving way, and for our own personal bliss and benefit, and as enlightened group of siddhas and governors and meditators, our self is not anymore just what is encapsulated or hidden within our body, physical body, but we know that our self is the self of everything and everyone, and therefore when lives are saved, when peace is experienced, when people are happy, it is us who are saved and happy and growing in our understanding and our ability to reach unity consciousness. We expand our sense of little self to include the self of everything and everyone. This is what unity consciousness is. And this is why you are here, because you know intuitively or intellectually and at all levels that you can make a difference, that we can make a difference. Not only for ourselves and enjoying to be with our friends, etc., but also for the whole world. And the best gift for the year, for all of us, is just to be together and sit together and innocently do it without any attachment, even no attachment to results. So you don't have to look at the news. The scientists are looking at it, and they'll analyze it later very carefully. If you happen to look at the news, that's fine. But to change the news, to change the world, during this assembly, and particularly during program, we have to forget it. We have to just be on the self. Be happy. be fulfilled, be blissful. That is what nourishes the world. That is what brings happiness and fulfillment and bliss and peace and harmony to the world. It is your happiness here. It is your well-being here. And that you can have. You are in control of that. How you control it? By not trying to control it, but not trying to make it. By being yourself. And that's what we are. We are one on that field when we transcend, and sometimes I like to highlight this in some of the discussions I have with some philosophers or thinkers. You know that when you transcend and you experience the self, you as siddhas and meditators, you know that, but I often have to try to explain this to people who cannot imagine what it means. You know that when you experience this pure consciousness, it's the same self and the same experience that anyone else who's experiencing pure consciousness is experiencing. So when I know, oh, it's myself and I'm in the transcendent, and my friend and other people experience transcendent, it's the same thing. They are experiencing the exact same thing, not only in terms of quality or in terms of it being unbounded, of it being transcendental, so it has the same quality. It is actually the same thing. You know, if two people look at a pond of water and they see it, they're seeing the same thing. It's not two different objects. One flower, two people look at the flower, they see the same flower. When you experience the self, closing the eyes and going in, it is the same thing that others are experiencing. And that really is profound and beautiful, because you think I am sitting here and I am experiencing this, and somebody is experiencing something similar, of course sometimes in a different way, but it's not just something similar, it's the exact same reality, it's the exact same thing. And that is really the field of unity that unifies us. We go all to the same place, whether we come from east or west, young or old, pandit or doctor or philosopher or driver or painter or whatever, mathematician or business person or whatever. When you experience pure consciousness, you are all experiencing the same reality, the same thing. And that is which is deepest to us, nearest to us. It's our inner self. And that's the same self exactly of everyone else. And that is what grows in our awareness spontaneously. And that is why people who practice this program, they start experiencing greater compassion, greater love, and that's why you are here, because intuitively, directly and indirectly, you know that yourself is the self of everything, and when everything is good, you are experiencing an expansion of your inner being and enlivening that one self, so that all people from all walks of life, from all belief systems, from all surface values, they can live together, love each other, experience each other, be one, even though on the surface they are different. So the differences are no more predominant, it's the unity that is spontaneously predominant. And that is what creates the effect on the surface. So when we do our program, the beauty of it is that it enlivens that being, it enlivens that self, not only for us in this assembly, but also in the subconscious, if you like, in the unconscious. They call it unconscious, but there is nothing unconscious. That it enlivens it in the consciousness, let's say, of the whole world. And so people will start thinking differently. Because when you meet somebody who is a friend, or who is a family, or who is a neighbor, or who's somebody you trust, you behave with them in a way that is more cordial, that is more trusting, more peaceful, more enveloping. When you meet somebody that you think is different, is threatening to you, you're going to behave in a different way. You're going to have a strategy of how to protect yourself, etc., etc. And so what makes people suddenly behave differently, they don't know, but what makes them behave differently is that they start seeing the other as part of themselves, no matter how different on the surface. When you think about it, you think, oh, that's not maybe the reason. When you think about it on the surface, you think it's not the reason. They did it for their personal benefit, for their profit, for all that, which they can think about in this way. But the behavior, the action on the surface is a reflection of how much you see the other as part of your well-being, as part of your life, or as something that threatens you, threatens your life. So the conflicts come from that fear and from that threat that you will lose your identity, you will lose your values, you will lose your culture, you will lose your beliefs, because the other is so different. And so you protect yourself, you have doubt, you act in certain ways. Whereas if intuitively you start seeing, no, this is, on a simple level, on a gross level, you call it, we see it as humans. Oh, we are humanity. Let's see things on a human level. That is also an expression, a different expression, but it's one surface expression. And that is, in the name of humanity, it's fine, because we feel like we are one species. But what this program does is actually enliven that sense of oneness, not only with others as individuals, but with also the environment, with nature, with life as a whole, in its short term, for a few years, or long term, thinking of the next generation, and within certain territory, or within a bigger territory, or within the whole world. That is the expansion of the self, and the ability to be and think and act from that level allows people to act in a cordial way. This is what enlivens all these beautiful qualities that many different techniques and different teachings encourage, such as love and compassion and like that, etc., etc. So this is what we are doing. We are enlivening the self in everything, and it is spreading out, and people will not feel the need to fight and to be antagonistic with each other. They'll find the solutions from the most profound level of being, and the world will change. So let us start again this year, and we have our own celebration of the New Year of the Age of Enlightenment on the 12th. We'll be preparing for that together, and continue on this blissful path that was so caring and so gracefully and so easily given to us by His Holiness Maharishi Mahesh Yogi from the Vedic tradition of masters, with Gurudev as his master and our guide in this generation and for all generations. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev Maharaja. Perhaps we'd like to close with blessings from the Maharshi Vedic Pandits.
Yes.
विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ नमस्ते गणपतये त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं धर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं खल्विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षादात्मासि नित्यं ऋतं वच्मि सत्यं वच्मि अवत्वं माम् अववक्तारम् अवश्रोता अवदातारम् अवधातारम् अवानुचानमवशिष्यम् अवपश्चातात् अवपुरस्तात् अववुत्तरातात् अवदक्षिणातात् अवचोर्ध्वातात् अवाधरातात् सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात् त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं चिन्मयः त्वमानन्दमयस्त्वं ब्रह्ममयः त्वं सच्चिदानन्दाद्वितीयोऽसि त्वं प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि सर्वं जगदिदं तत्तो जायते सर्वं जगदिदं तत्तो तिष्ठति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि लयमिष्यति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति त्वं भूमिरापो नलो निलो नभः त्वं चत्वारि वाक्पदानि त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः त्वं वस्तात्रयातीतः त्वं देहत्रयातीतः त्वं कालत्रयातीतः त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यं त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मकः त्वां योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यं त्वं ब्रह्मा त्वं विष्णुस्त्वं रुद्रस्त्वमिन्द्रस्त्वमग्निस्त्वं वायुस्त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमास्त्वं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवस्वरो गणादीन् पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादीस्तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वारः परतरः अर्धेन्दुलसितं तारेण रुद्धम् एतत्त्वमनुस्वरूपम् गकारः पूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वारस्यान्त्यरूपम् बिन्दुरुत्तररूपम् नादसन्धानम् संहिता सन्धिः सैषा गणेशविद्या गणकरिषिः निजृद्गायत्री छन्दः श्रीमहागणपतिर्देवता ॐ गङ्गणपतये नमः एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात् एकदन्तं चतुर्हस्तं पाशमं कुशधारिणम् रदं च वरदं हस्ते बिभ्राणमूषकध्वजम् रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकं रक्तवाससम् रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सपूजितम् भक्तानुकम्पिनं देवं जगत्कारणमच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्ट्यादौ प्रकृतेः पुरुषात्परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रमथपतये नमस्ते अस्तुलम्बोदराय एकदन्ताय विघ्नविनाशिने शिवसुताय शीर्षयोधीते स ब्रह्म भूयाय कल्पते स सर्वविघ्नेर्न बाध्यते स सर्वत्र गुणमेधते स पञ्चमहापापात् प्रमुच्यते शायमदीयानो दिवसकृतं पापं नाशयति प्रातरदीयानो रात्रिकृतं पापं नाशयति सायं प्रातः प्रयुञ्जानो अपापो भवति सर्वत्र धीयानो अपविघ्नो भवति धर्मार्थकाममोक्षं च विन्द्यति इदमथर्वशीर्षमशिष्याय न देयम् यो यदि मोहाद्यास्यति स पापीयान् भवति सहस्रावर्तनादेयं काममधीते तन्तमनेन साधयेत् अनेन गणपतिमभिषिञ्चति भवति चतुर्थ्यामनस्नं जपति स विद्यावान् भवति अथर्वणवाक्यम् ब्रह्माद्यावरणं विद्या न बिभेति कदाचनेति यो दुर्वाङ्गुरेर्यजति स वै श्रवणोपमो भवति यो लाजेर्यजति स एषोवान् भवति स मेधावान् भवति यो मोदकसहस्रेण यजति स वाञ्छितफलमवाप्नोति यस्याज्यसमिद्भिर्यजति स सर्वं लभते स सर्वं लभते अष्टो ब्राह्मणान् सम्यग्राहित्वा सूर्यवर्चस्वी भवति सूर्याग्रहे महानद्या प्रतिमा सन्निधौ वाजत्ता सिद्धमन्त्रौ भवति हरिः ओम्।
Heaven is descending, descending on the earth. Heaven on earth, heaven on earth, heaven on earth. Heaven is descending, descending on the earth. Light of God is bringing heaven on earth. Guru Dev's grace is bringing heaven on earth. Heaven on earth, heaven on earth, heaven on earth. Light of God is bringing heaven on earth. descending, descending on the earth. Heaven on earth, heaven on earth, heaven on earth. Heaven is descending, descending on the earth. Heaven is descending, descending on the earth. Buddha's grace